have the Attorney General, Madam Dorcas. We have the CS Treasury, Honorable Mbandi. We have Honorable Mvurya, sports, but also still handling trade and investments. We have Honorable Dwale handling matters environment and also agriculture. We have Mheshimiwa Hassan Joho handling mining and maritime, the blue economy and maritime issues. Then we have the Governor Sakaja representing the Council of Governors with us. And I also have PS, I'm being selfish, but PS Aurelio Rono from the Parliamentary Affairs. So I think that's where we are. As each minister speaks, he'll point out the people from his team. And those who will not have a minister, you'll raise your hand and I'll represent you. All right. So this meeting, if I just very, very quickly make some remarks so that it's on record, is that let me begin by welcoming all of you to this meeting which I have convened pursuant to the urgent directive of His Excellency the President. I am therefore deeply honored to have this gathering of distinguished leaders from government, the private sector and key stakeholders. Today, we stand united in pursuit of a shared goal, creating an environment where business can flourish and investment in our homeland can thrive. The renowned economist Milton Friedman once said, "The business of government is to facilitate business." So I'll repeat that. The business of government is to facilitate business. It is imperative that we take this wisdom to heart. Our administration's transformation agenda demands that we as public servants become the catalysts that ignite the engine of economic growth. This engine is powered by the private sector. Today's deliberations are a call to action. We as a government know very well that the private sector is not just a partner, but the backbone of our economy. From the farmer in Kilifi, exporting mangoes, to the entrepreneur in Thika, processing leather goods, these are the people who fuel our nation's prosperity. Our role is to clear and light up their path and not obstruct it. As we reflect on the ease and cost of doing business in Kenya, let us be frank in identifying the bottlenecks. We know that excessive bureaucracy, outdated regulations, and inefficient infrastructure have at times become barriers rather than bridges to success. Today we must think of collectively charting a new course. This meeting is therefore an opportunity for those of you in the private sector to tell us where the shoe pinches. First, we must address the regularity and bureaucratic frameworks that stifle innovation and investment. How can we create a regulatory environment that promotes and supports rather than hinders growth? Second, we must invest in infrastructure to reduce logistical costs and enhance competitiveness. Third, we must tackle corruption head-on, ensuring that transparency becomes the norm and not the exception. This meeting is a testament to our unwavering commitment to fostering a robust and productive public-private dialogue. History has shown us that meaningful progress can only be achieved when government and the private sector work hand in hand. As we face the winds of change in a dynamic global economy, we must seize this moment to shape a future that is in Kenya's national interest. There is the often quoted African proverb, which you all know: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This reminds us that sustained economic growth requires unity between the government and the private sector, adopting a shared vision for long-term prosperity. When we leave this room today, let us do so with a renewed sense of purpose. The success of our economy depends on our collective efforts. The government's role is to create an enabling environment, one where businesses can innovate, compete, and scale. In return, we expect the private sector to rise to the challenge, creating jobs, driving innovation, and contributing to Kenya's economic prosperity. The true measure of leadership, whether in government or the private sector, is not in words but in action. Let this meeting set the pace for our commitment to collaboration. Together we can drive Kenya towards a future where the engine of our economy runs on the fuel of opportunity, enterprise, and a supportive government. As we deliberate on creating a more conducive business environment, we must focus on the untapped potential of our youth. Kenya's young population is brimming with energy, ideas, and ambition. They are not just the future, they are the present drivers of innovation and creativity. If we equip them with the right tools, resources, and platforms, they will catalyze the transformation of our economy. Empowered, they can be key agents for development and peace. Let us ensure that our policies create an ecosystem where young entrepreneurs, innovators, and professionals can flourish, because they are left on society's margins. All of us, if they are left on society's margins, all of us will be impoverished. In closing, I leave you with the words of Theodore Roosevelt: do what you can with what you have, where you are. This philosophy aligns with a whole of systems approach, which calls for harmonizing our efforts between government and the private sector, as well as across all sectors, institutions, and disciplines. Such an approach will enhance efficiency, eliminate silos, and maximize our impact. Ladies and gentlemen, together we have the tools, the talent, and the persistence to achieve greatness. So I thank you, and we will go straight to business. We had communicated earlier to the private sector with some very specific areas that we wanted them to focus. So, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, my colleagues will not speak up front. They would want to hear the private sector first. So we request that the first bite at the cherry goes to KEPSA.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, colleagues and all government officials present.
Can you move the mic closer to you?
Hello. Any better? Great. First, we wish to take this opportunity as Kenya Private Sector Alliance to appreciate this opportunity to be here today. As you said in your remarks, to chart the way forward. How is it possible that we can, if possible, attain an improved, enhanced private sector business environment? And so we are honored to be here today, and we wish to make remarks that will be cross-cutting, taking into account that we are also flanked here today by some of our members, KM, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce. And so we will be touching on just the cross-cutting issues while we let our members delve into the sector-specific issues. First on the list, I think we wish to bring forth the issue about the licenses and permits. And this is with regard to the non-rationalization of the issuance of various permits and licenses and the requirements that go with that exercise. Why is this an issue that KEPSA feels is cross-cutting? This is because there is a discrepancy between the licensing and permitting regime, both at the national and the county level, and this is certainly going towards making it very, very burdensome for the businesses in terms of operating across the country with regard to trading. Are recommending that